work has changed in my industry in the sense that it has evaporated in many ways in terms of our ability to have concerts and people together. So as a result, we're waking up in the morning and thinking not what will I do today, what do I have to do today, but rather what can I do today? What can I do that is different? What can I do that is creative? What can I do possibly to bring musical meaning to the lives of others in ways that I had not formerly envisioned? What's keeping me motivated and grounded is this unprecedented time for reflection. Not despair, but reflection, and thinking about why I do what I do and how I do what I do, and other things, the other parts of myself that I can bring to the work that I do. And that reflection has been, the ability to reflect has been time that I've really, really valued. A lot of lessons that we can learn from this, the value of us just being together in the same room is something that I don't think we'll ever take for granted in the same way. The ability just to go work at a coffee shop, go to a movie theater, just be with other people, not have to feel that the other is the other that you encounter on the street is potentially dangerous. That's something that we took for granted before, and we will carry that with us. I would say to anybody who's entering the workforce that you need to think about whatever job it is that you're training for, whatever work it is that you're training for, there will always be a section, maybe like 30, 40, 50, maybe 60, 70% of that work that you're doing that also transfers to another occupation. It's a whole other skill set within your skill set. And be aware of that. Even if you're not using it for another job, or you don't even have thoughts of going for another job, just be aware of all the skills, all the different skills that you're bringing to whatever job it is that you're doing, and how the ways that you have different interests and different interest in engaging things in your life that may not be related to your job, those too can bring value to the work that you are doing. So you are a diverse person, and there are different things that you can do to bring those diversities in your life to fruition for the greater good of yourself, your work, and the people around you. Once again, Daniel Bartholomew Poyser with Toronto Symphony Orchestra and Symphony Nova Scotia. I hope that you're safe, and I hope that you're well.
Choir is all about bringing people into a room and singing and feeling the vibrations from each other. It's very immediate, and there's a lot that you can communicate without explaining yourself, just by your presence. Now we're at the dawn of a new reality. We're very much in the middle of trying to redefine what it is choir is during a huge stretch of time where we can't physically get together, which is very challenging.
I think it's making us do things that we didn't think about doing. Or we didn't have to think about doing because we were so busy doing live performances. And there's definitely a silver lining is that we're learning, but I think that goes for everybody, really.
I would say that the DNA of choir has not changed, and our mission has not changed, and nor will it change. The greatest strength I feel about this project is that it's got so many different ways to connect with people. So choir is really just the many different parts of the personalities of us and the people around us that make it what it is.
You know, it's really made me appreciate and understand that nothing can take the place of a live performance. There is no virtual performance. If anything, it's not showing that virtual is the way to go. It's showing that we need to be responsibly connected in a way, and we need to be more connected, whether that's, governments working together, or whether it's, preparedness for things like this, which people in the know knew something this was coming. This was not a big surprise. It's just that there was no money in it. There was no money in being prepared for something. So they decided, whatever, there's no point right now. We'll work on it later, or we'll cut costs right now. It's like, I think a lot of us know, we said a lot of cracks are being exposed, and it's cracks that, people fight hard to try to expose normally are being blown wide open. Everything that's happening now is the opposite of choir. It's like people gathering in a room and opening their mouths and being next to each other and singing, like whether it's arm in arm or their hands in the air, and everyone's just not afraid to sing. Like that will be choir. The first choir in some ways for me will be such a huge celebration in terms of the fact that what we're experiencing now is over to the point where we can actually celebrate in that way. So everything will be back before what we do. We will be the final celebration when this is over. You could talk about 5G, you could talk about VR. Nothing can replace the human contact. There's an energy in the room that comes off of our bodies when we're in that room. And I think that people are just dying to get back to that. I don't think any virus is going to take that away. There's no virus that can make people not want to do that. People will fight as much as they can to get back to that place.
I feel like if you come out of all of this the same way you went into it, then on some level you're missing the point. I feel like this is a great time to have conversations about how you live your life and what it is you prioritize and how you want to spend your time, your precious time on Earth. So for me, it's kind of like it's a flow of feeling positive about things and the possibilities of what we can do, fighting the fact that we may not be able to feel the same euphoria that we felt or we feel when we're doing it in real life, but then understanding that that's not possible right now and accepting that, you know, and just making peace with that on some level, because that's what everyone is experiencing on some level, and we'll get through it all together.
This is obviously the first time in my life anything like of this magnitude has really happened. And it's not like there were all of these systems that we didn't know were wrong 2 months ago or 4 months ago or 6 months ago. But it's just this sort of like, it's this externally imposed reset button that has been pushed that allows us to take the time to reassess. You know, I have a lot of friends that, you know, work 9-to-5 jobs and do, you know, have very different career paths than I do, who have said that this has been the first time in their career, in their adult life, that they've had the opportunity to assess whether this is what they want to be doing or not. Because, you know, the grind is deep in the world right now, and when people are fighting for the grind and they don't have time to assess whether this is what they want to be doing or not. And I think these last couple of months have given, not only on a personal level, everyone is sort of a real opportunity to assess where they're at, who they are, what they want, what they're doing, how close what they're doing is to who they want to be. But also on a global level, like, is this how we want to live our lives together? Is this what we want the world to be? Is this how we want to live? Is this what we want our societies to look like? Is this what we want our governments to be able to have roles in? Is this what we want to look to them for? Is this what we want big business to be able to do? Is this just as simple as, you know, as an office building that used to be downtown, and all of a sudden these companies are working well with everyone not going to an office building downtown. Well, when the building, you know, when the business comes back, do we need to send everyone back downtown? Do we need to have the same level of traffic in and out of major cities? You know, do we need that air pollution coming in? Do we need everyone piling into elevators every day? Do those companies need to be paying $100,000, $2,000 a month in rent, you know, to house 100 people in an office when 70% of them can be doing just as good a job from home? You know, these kind of structures are going to get reassessed, and I think that's a really good thing. I think that, like I was saying before, you know, that we don't often get moments to reflect on where we've come, because we tend to move really fast, and we tend to just kind of take what's next, because we don't want to get left behind. Well, this moment is a moment for reflection and finding out whether this is where we want to be, and this is what we want to be doing, and this is how we want it to go. And if we don't, we can change it. We can change anything now. You know, we can. We're the ones in control of the way that we want to live, and we can do it with the way that we vote. We can do it with the way that we spend money. You know, I've heard many people say many times that the most important ballot is a dollar, and every dollar you spend is a way that you're voting in some way or another. So be conscious of what you're supporting, and whether the people you're supporting, consciously or unconsciously, are contributing to the world that you want to live in the future, or don't want to live in the future. We all want to live in a COVID-free world, and that we know for sure. But all of the other power structures that have been slowly putting into place, here's our moment to assess whether we want them or not, and what we can do about it. So that's something I believe is something kind of beautiful about this time, and I hope that mankind and you know, all of us individually and collectively take the time we feel we need to assess whether we're doing the right things or not, and what kind of world we want to be in. So for the foreseeable future, I can't wait to play a show, rock out with some people. Thank you for having me speak.